What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate video. Finally, folks, we are done with 2020. Happy New Year's. So, today's debate video, we're going to be talking about Godzilla 2019 versus Shin Rodan. Now, here's the plan, guys. We're going to go over the backstory of Shin Rodan first, and then move on to Godzilla 2019. When I say go over the backstory, obviously I mean characteristics, abilities, basically everything. We're gonna dive deep into all the analytics. Once we're done analyzing these two creatures, we're gonna put them up against each other in a death battle. But I'll go way more into detail once we get there. So let's begin with the backstory of Shin Rodan right now. So, Shin Rodan came into existence after rare pterodactyl DNA was found at a mountain called High Rise, and scientists collected that DNA and replicated the RNA strands and fused it with Shin DNA to make a hybrid creature that could evolve on seconds of notice and fly, which would mean the biggest alpha yet, known as Shin Rodan. Now, the height of Shin Rodan is approximately 145 meters tall, but length from wing to wing is approximately 365 meters long. Giant wingspan, right? Now, abilities. I'm gonna quickly scale over the abilities. We're gonna finish off Shin Rodan. Before we move on to Godzilla 2019, we'll come back to the abilities and do a deep analysis, don't worry, but do a quick skim right now. So abilities goes as follows: atomic lasers, radioactive wind, super evolution, flying crusher, and claw swingers. Don't worry, we'll come back to this and do a deep analysis. Don't worry, please. Now, aggression level is maximum, territorial level is medium. Biome is unlimited, and I will explain that in the abilities right now. So let's go back to the abilities and let's do a deep analysis. So first off, we have the atomic lasers. Now the atomic lasers, let me put it like this, very similar to Shin Godzilla's lasers. Remember, this is Shin DNA is being brought into this creature. And so, Shin Godzilla himself has the atomic laser. It's like a purplish laser that could basically cut through everything. This is very similar, but it actually spirals because of the pterodactyl DNA. Because pterodactyls like to spiral when they fly, this atomic laser actually spirals, and it goes left and right, and it's very unpredictable, but it does a lot of damage because when it spirals, it creates way more friction when it goes through the air, causing it to have a higher impact on whatever it's hitting, whether it's an opponent, in a building, whatever it is. So it's definitely much stronger now. That's the atomic laser. The radioactive wind is very interesting. It's like a napalm bomb way, if I could put it into words. So Shin Rodan can actually swing his wings back and forth really fast, and that heat that gets or comes out of that, basically, because you know it's energy. The faster he swings his wings, the more energy he's creating, and energy is heat. And from that, his body pushes out radioactive material, and that causes wind. So it's radioactive wind. But you might wonder, well, don't these kaijus feed off of radiation? How could that be any use to him? Well, it is, because it's not the actual radiation himself, but it's the level of heat. The heat is so hot that most of these kaijus never venture this deep into the earth, or just never eat radioactive material that's this hot. So the heat actually causes a lot of damage. It's a very, very hot heat. Now, going from that, we have super evolution. This is interesting. Super evolution is basically this. Shin Godzilla, if you've ever watched Shin Godzilla, his DNA, he can evolve very quickly. He evolved from Form 1 to Form 2 to Form 3 to Form 4 in just one film. In the film, obviously called Shin Godzilla, where scientists say that should take millions and millions of years, where he did it in a matter of seconds. Now, This new evolution, why is it not just called evolution, and why is it called super evolution? He had to look around his environment and figure himself out what he needed to evolve to best fit that environment. For example, when he went from Form 2 to Form 3, he grew legs because he needed to walk on land, but he needed to see that to understand that, right? This new evolution that's evolved with this pterodactyl and Shin DNA, making a hybrid, is called super evolution, and basically the organism, in this case Shinrodan, does not need to know what to evolve, or does not need to look around the surroundings to know what body part to evolve, which means the evolution time will decrease. He can evolve faster now and more adequate, because instead of making a decision off of the mind, the body will automatically know what's best fit to evolve, and it will evolve in a matter of seconds to fit the environment. Very powerful ability. Now, going from that is the Flying Crusher. So basically, it's Shin Rodan going into obviously flying mode, kind of spiraling back into a rocket shape. Basically, if I could explain that to you, imagine Shin Rodan closing his wings together or wrapping them up against his body. So basically, think of him as like a rocket body. Obviously, when a bird wraps the body around the wing, or wraps the wing around the body, as a better way of saying it, kind of looks like like a long rocket. That's what I could think of. And basically, what he does is he wraps his wings while he's flying around his body, and then just spirals down into the opponent, and with the claw actually digs deep into the flesh and opens the claw and closes the claw, opens the claw and closes the claw, and including the beak. So basically, his claws and his beak, from the big leap as he was flying in a rocket shape now, basically hit the opponent and dig deep into the flesh and cause a lot of damage. I hope that made sense. It's very complicated. And finally, we have the Claw Swingers. So, obviously, Shinrodan has many claws all over his wings, and those claws can actually shoot out like rockets, and they obviously grow back, and the same thing can happen again. But they shoot out like rockets, and basically they get shot at the opponent, and there's these giant claws getting ripped into the opponent's flesh. And that will sum up Shin Rodan, folks. So, let's move on to Godzilla 2019. Soon to be called Godzilla 2021, obviously when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, but it's not out yet, so we're going to continue calling him Godzilla 2019. And honestly, let's get off topic for a really quick second. I believe Godzilla 2021 should get even bigger, as in his size, his weight, better abilities, maybe more abilities, because he did look more beefier in the short clip we got that Kong was he was chained up and Godzilla was swimming up. He looked a bit more beefed up there. So I think he's gonna have more abilities. I don't know, we'll see. I think he's gonna be a completely different Godzilla, and way more badass than he was in 2019. He was really badass in Godzilla 2019. So we'll see. But for now, we'll just call him Godzilla 2019. And basically, Godzilla is an ancient alpha predator living on Earth to bring balance to nature, as Godzilla himself is a force of nature, and basically radioactive testing awoke this behemoth. The height of Godzilla 2019 is approximately 119.8 meters tall. Abilities, same thing, quick skim, atomic breath, agility, physical combat, super tail whip, and burning mode. Burning mode is a bit interesting. We'll go deeper into why it is a more difficult ability to use. And then aggression level is maximum, territorial level is indeed 100% maximum, and biome is obviously Earth. Now, let's go back to the abilities and let's talk about it. So, first we have the atomic breath. Very simple. Godzilla himself can use the atomic breath. It's a blue beam and does a lot of damage. Basically, that's how he killed the female Muto with a kiss of death. Opened her mouth, shot the atomic breath inside of her mouth, and killed her. Absolutely decapitated the monster. Cut the head off and everything. Basically what I'm trying to say is, it's super powerful. Would I say it's the most powerful atomic breath out of all the Godzillas combined? I definitely wouldn't say that. But I would say it's up there. Easily in the top 5. I would say number 1, after re-evaluating myself, I'll have to say it's Shin Godzilla. And we'll go deeper into that in a different video if you guys want me to. Just request in the comment section below. But for now, he does definitely have a very powerful atomic breath. Now, agility. He's very agile compared to 2014 version of himself. In 2013, after almost every single combat, so freaking boring, after every combat he would have to like lay down and just relax for a second, had to get some sleep in. He was very tired, and it makes sense because he just woke up. I like how realistic they made it. But in 2019, he was up there and just kicking Ghidorah's ass. And he was just fighting. He didn't take any naps, and I love that. It's a badass Godzilla. That was really fun. I love that. I love that. I love that he's so agile in 2019, and he's very agile. His physical is insane. Very powerful, too. Now, physical combat. He can fight. Basically, physical combat is his kicking, punching, ramming into his opponents, and he can dodge, he can hit, he knows how to fight. He knows great physical combat. And leading into physical combat, a subdivision of that I have is the super tail whip. He has a tail whip that I believe is up there with Shin Godzilla. Both of these Godzillas have a giant tail whip. I'm not including Godzilla Earth because Godzilla Earth is an anime Godzilla, not a live action Godzilla. But in the terms of live action Godzilla, the top 2 would have to be Shin Godzilla and Godzilla, this one, Godzilla 2019. His tail whip is insanely powerful. I hope you understand how powerful his his tail whip is. Insanely powerful, and he basically killed the male Muto with it. That's how powerful it is. Finally, we have the burning mode, and I said I would explain why this is a more interesting ability, and it is. It's the same ability, well, kind of. It's kind of the same ability where Godzilla 1995 has, but the only difference is he actually isn't dying from the ability, and he can't do it based off of his body temperature. Godzilla 1995, I'm comparing the two right now. Godzilla 1995 has it because his body is overheating and he's going on meltdown. So the reason why he has that is basically because his body is overheating. For Godzilla 2019, his body is not overheating. His body does overheat when he does that, but the reason is not because he's overheating. That's what I was trying to say. And he needs 2 catalysts. He must have these 2 catalysts in his body, or else he can't do it. He cannot do it based off of himself. He needs the complete energy of Mothra, which means Mothra must kill herself or die, and all of her physical energy that exists must be sucked into Godzilla's body. And he must have much more radiation his body originally has. So not including the radiation he has in his body, he has to have way more. And once he has that way more radiation, including the energy of Mothra, he then can initiate what we like to call burning mode. And basically what it is it's a giant explosion of super hot radiation that melts everything in its path. That's basically what it is, and he killed King Ghidorah with that specific ability. He melted the crap out of King Ghidorah, that's what I should say. He absolutely melted the crap out of King Ghidorah. And basically that sums up all of the abilities of Godzilla 2019. So now let me go back and let me explain Shin Rodan's one more thing I need to explain. That's the biome. I said his biome is unlimited, and let me explain that. The reason why Shin Rodan's biome is unlimited is because he has super evolution. His body can evolve to what the body needs to fit the environment. So basically, who is to say that his body can't evolve to fit anywhere? If it's space he's in, if it's a volcano he's in, if it's in the ocean he's in, if wherever he is, his body can evolve to fit the situation, therefore making the biome basically unlimited, which is insanely powerful. So now, let's go off of that. We are done analyzing both of these kaijus. Let's put them up against each other in the death battle. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go off of close range and far range. Now why do I do close and far range? First of all, I do far range because it's very important. Very important. You'll see why right now when I explain it. Imagine these two kaijus. And imagine how powerful they are. Now imagine restricting some of their abilities. Now see how good they are. Now see how powerful they could be by restricting their abilities. And that's what we're trying to see, if they're any good with restricted abilities. And it's a great way of testing them when you do this. So I want to put that out there. Now, obviously close range is just all out war. They're just basically hitting each other. Not a big deal. Face to face. Every monster does that. And we'll see. Whoever is the bigger, the badder monster wins, basically. Whoever's more smarter, more agile, and all of that. We'll get there. I'll go way more into detail. But let's do far range first, because it is less practical, but a better way of comparing these two kaijus. So let's definitely do that, shall we? In terms of far range, let's see what abilities Shinrodan can or cannot use. So atomic lasers, yes. Radioactive wind, yes. Super evolution, yes, but, well, yes, yeah. Basically, he can evolve a new ability in any way you want to put it, and basically just beat the crap out of everyone, right? Now, going off of that, Flying Crusher, no. Because remember, he cannot come closer to his opponent. He cannot touch his opponent. We are doing far range. So, think of it like this. They have to be at least 700 meters apart. They cannot come closer. So therefore, he actually cannot use Flying Crusher. And Claw Swingers, no. The Claw Swingers will not travel that far. So the answer is no. So basically all he can actually use in this case is gonna have to be the Atomic Laser, the Radioactive Wind, and the Super Evolution. Yeah. Now let's go on to Godzilla 2019. The only thing I'm just gonna say it, the only thing he can use is the Atomic Breath and the Burning ability. And remember, we're going to assume that Mothra and excessive radiation are now in his body. We're going to assume that it's everything, all things equal, basically that specific ability is in there. Okay? We're gonna assume one more time that Mothra's dead body's energy is inside of Godzilla and he has excessive radiation. I want to say it one more time so we're all on the same page here. I don't want to have people telling me, oh, you can't use burning ability because Mothra has to be there. Well, I'm telling you now, she's dead. And the excessive radiation is in the body. So atomic breath and the burning ability is all able to be used. Now, in this battle, I see Godzilla being the first one to initiate it. and I see him using the atomic breath, obviously, as a warning shot and damage shot to Shin Rodan. And Shin Rodan's obviously going to take some damage on the wings the most, which would be the most weakest part of her body. And I think, obviously, he's going to have a response to Godzilla, 100%. And he's going to use the atomic lasers. And remember, the atomic lasers, I don't know if I explained this, but it is Shin DNA, so it's not only from the mouth, but it's all over the body, right? Just like Shin Godzilla can. And he can basically use that. He is going to use that as a response to Godzilla, and that's going to cause a heck of a load of damage. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Godzilla 2019 actually has very crappy regeneration. Not that good. He has strong health, though. For example, what I mean is, he is the only Godzilla to be able to survive the Oxygen Destroyer, which is incredible. But he's not good at regenerating his health. He's very slow at that. So, Shin Rodan can regenerate because Shin DNA is very good at evolving into regeneration. So, when Shin Rodan does this, this is going to cause a lot of damage to Godzilla, and he's going to have a hard time regenerating from this. And seeing that, I think not only atomic lasers, the radioactive wind, in my opinion, is not going to do that much damage to Godzilla. As I said, most kaijus haven't had that much heat, but there are kaijus who know what heat is, and Godzilla himself is very prone to feeding off of heat and radiation from the center of the Earth. So this radioactive wind that Shinrodan has is not going to do any damage at all. The super evolution could, and everything else is not going to happen. So Godzilla, only thing he can do now is the burning ability, and the burning ability, as I said, is very powerful. It's one of the most powerful abilities that Godzilla has, and he basically goes into this one burning state. He explodes, and super hot radiation comes out and just melts everything in close range and blows up everything in far range. Now, he's going to use this on Shin Rodan, and Shin Rodan is going to get absolutely crushed. Is the first shot going to kill him? No, and that's what is bad. That's what's going to cause a big shift in this game. If Godzilla was able to kill Shin Rodan with the first blast of the burning ability, then we could call it a fair game and finish it off. But that's actually not the case, because Shin Rodan has very protective armor, but as I said, it's going to cause a lot of damage, but not going to kill him. And this is what's exactly going to happen. Shin Rodan is going to take in that whatever he got hit by, which he doesn't know what it is, but basically it's the burning ability. His body is quickly going to evolve within seconds to become immune to that heat, immune to that radiation, immune to that blast, and it's going to quickly regenerate. So once his body does that, then that burning ability is no longer useful, and the atomic breath is basically unuseful now too. So Shin Rodan can just use the atomic laser and kill. I wouldn't say kill, but would definitely defeat Godzilla. Therefore making it 1-0 in terms of far range for Shin Rodan. Now, let's talk about close range. Ooh, getting into more interesting battle here. So, let's take this into consideration. Shin Rodan is 145 meters tall, but 365 meters wide. Wow. But Godzilla 2019 is 119.8 meters tall. So Godzilla 2019 has the disadvantage in height, and basically in height-wise, every way he has a disadvantage. Shin Rodan is longer and taller, or I should say wider and taller, but you can say longer too. Well, yeah, if you're talking about horizontal-wise, it could work. So he's bigger than Godzilla, but Godzilla in close range, he's very good in combat. You can never underestimate Godzilla in close range. He is insanely good. In close range, when Shin Rodan Well, let me tell you what he's gonna do. In close range, Shinrodan is gonna use the Flying Crusher. Remember what I said? He wraps his wings around his body, and then just flies into his opponent to get the beak dug deep into the flesh, right? Not to Godzilla. Godzilla's skin is way too thick and deep. Not gonna happen. And once he does that, that's a big mistake. Godzilla's gonna grab Shinrodan and he's gonna start beating the holy hell out of him. Tearing his wings off. He is going to tear his wings off 100%, and it's going to start stomping on the body. However, this is what happens. I've said this many times, Toho made a beast they cannot control. When they made Shin Godzilla, they made this Godzilla to overdo legendary Godzilla. That's the only reason why they made Shin Godzilla. If Godzilla 2019 was, or not even 2019, if Godzilla 2014 was never made, then Shin Godzilla would never exist. And this whole evolution thing they put, I was never expecting them to do that. It's such a OP ability. Basically, OP means overpowered. It's so overpowered. It's so overpowered if you actually know what it is. An opponent, well, not an opponent, a creature, well, you can call him an opponent, but a creature that can evolve within seconds is so powerful. It's so powerful. And if Godzilla, well, not if, let's say when Godzilla rips off the wings of Shinrodan and is stomping him to death, his body is gonna go into overdrive and gonna start evolving. And it's gonna evolve new wings, stronger wings that can't be teared off. And the new wings are gonna grow immediately, within seconds. And they're gonna grow so fast, they're gonna knock Godzilla on the ground. And because of that, so big the wings are, he can start hitting Godzilla with his wings and using his claw swingers, basically sending the claws out to Godzilla, just blasting him, tearing his skin slowly and slowly and slowly, using his atomic lasers and the radioactive wind and the flying crusher at the same time, going up, flying down into him, going up, flying down into him, and basically making a hole from so much penetration in that area. And he can basically keep on evolving, and I think it's very unfortunate that this is, but I'm not making this up, guys. I'm not making up this evolution ability. This evolution is from Toho, and it is incredibly powerful. I want you to go back and watch Shin Godzilla's film one more time and see how incredibly powerful he is because of his evolution. Now, remember, he is just a baby still. That's why he needs to sleep. He is new. He just awoke, in a sense. That's why he sleeps and he keeps on resting in the film. He doesn't have a good time with his abilities. He doesn't have a good time controlling his abilities. But once that evolution kicks in again, once his body gets fully developed, this is what's going to happen if he were to fight any other creature. The reason why Shinrodan doesn't have to wait, because he's not like Shin Godzilla, where he's a new creature this first time. He is a fully developed pterodactyl that has Shin DNA, and it becomes perfected inside of him. It's a perfect organism. That's what it is. A perfect organism. And anything Godzilla does, this system will find a way to de-evolutionize his abilities and re-evolutionize his own body. Therefore, Shinrodan will win 2-0. Obviously, this is just my opinion. You can debate me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, though. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing.